needless to say, this upset me more than a bit, because I was brought up to live in an area where you could have a farm, a field or a lawn or something to go and sit on, so that mothers could play with their children, or teachers could come out and teach in the sun in the summer. And there was just nothing but asphalt around here. So this upset me more than a bit, and I contacted Jan, who was sort of a big wheel in the Concerned Denby Citizens of those days. And they rallied round me, and we sort of got things going. We planned meetings in BC Charles and Memphis High School, and people got these big sheets of paper and they drew what they thought they would like to have in their park. It was all very democratic. In fact, Mayor Duval said he thought this was one of the most democratic things that had happened in Newport News in his aegis. So they all finally said they wanted a park, the people in the area. So finally we crowded City Council, and we got the whole zone, the whole area zoned as park. This was a long while ago now. So Mayor Duval, at that time, who was a very fine mayor, appointed a task force of about 10 or 12 of us to help it design the park, along with Mike Poplowski, who's known to most of you as the Director of Parks and Rec. Now, we worked hard, and after the 10 years, you get what you see now pretty well. In fact, even the restrooms are built by the inmates. And I've mentioned this because the destruction of the inmate farm here was a major loss for the city. For a start, a lot of people were very proud of it. In the early days, they had 300 inmates up here, most of whom graduated with a GED and got some religious instruction while they were there. And they worked under guidance. They had to work together, and they did some work, and they got some minimal pay. And there were 300 inmates in the early days. And the powers that be, who are here at the moment, lowered that number to 30. And that 30 now works out of Public Works. And you can see by the state of the area around here and the things that are not getting done, if you know what I'm talking about, that it's a great loss, and the destruction of the inmates, both to reduce the numbers and then destroy the city farm buildings, is a major crime. Then Mayor Frank came along. He appointed our task force, and as most of you will remember him, and he started getting itchy about wanting to develop this area. And the task force said, we're not very keen on that. So the net result was he disbanded the task force. This is the sort of dirty tricks we're up against. And so now you're going to, he's heading for a huge plan, as Jan has told you, for 10-story condos and 6-story condos, a 4-lane highway, and no access to the water. And this is probably about the last place where you can get to the water, because most of it is privately owned all the way down to Huntington Park, as you all well know. Mike Poplowski and I have fought on with reducing funds since those days. We used to get $300,000 or $400,000 a year from the City Council. For the last 4 years, we've had zero. So you can see what's happening to us. The barn, after years of hurricanes, etc., suddenly 2 holes appeared in its roof. The front door was stoved in, and the windows were broken. This, of course, just happens. So the plan calls for the plan there, which you've seen, that hideous thing for condos, for about 2009 in vintage. It calls for removal of the city farm. Well, they've done that. It calls for the removal of the superb old barn. And that barn is a marvelous place. The woodwork inside there is superb. And it's a really classical piece of work. And it's our heritage, and I'm very proud of it. And I think the barn is a superb place. But 2 holes appeared in the ceiling. Nothing was done for it. There was a gruesome succession of bids which were underfunded, and so nobody would bid for them. This is not by accident. And finally, as you can see, there's been some public outcry lately about the barn, so suddenly we have a chap working on it. The removal of the gymnastics centre, which people have mentioned, is going to put 900 kids who call themselves the Flipperteers. They're doing the most marvellous stuff at the gymnastics centre. That will cease, presumably. The buildings in that picture goes out all over the marina, which is going to upset CNU and their sailing centre there. It'll upset the watermen, and it'll upset a lot of people who live nearby. So we're now in a holding pattern, holding forth with greed and dirty tricks going on, and I hope you will all sign Adrian's email list, which he's got out there, so that he can call you in when we need you at the City Council meeting, which you know is in the big building downtown. So sign that, so he can mobilise you when he needs you for the public meetings, because the first meeting they've got to change the zoning. You can't build on a thing that's zoned as park. So we have to have a public meeting. Now, the dirty tricks may sidestep the meeting of public meetings, if so we need to have a real round. Because what will probably happen is in a workshop meeting, certain people will suggest that the city park be zoned from park to conditions for building, and it will be voted on, but without any further thought. We've got to stop that, and so that there's no permission. The next one will have to come when they have to get permission to build on our Riverview Farm Park. So we need you to rally around and create hell, all due respect. This is a desperate situation, and you're up against major greed and very dirty tricks. And there are certain people, I don't think I better name names, but I can tell you a whole lot of names who are up against us in this game. So thank you very much, and I'm glad you all turned out. Now I hope you all will sign on so that Adrian can call you in when he needs you.